This is episode 1 of Lessons in Freedom. I'm introducing this small video series so that I can help people to straighten out some of the thinking in their head as to what is this madness that's going on in the world today. And I am one person that has, throughout all of this, been completely free because I did not consent to give away any of my freedoms. And so that seems to be the biggest question for most people right now is, well, how is it that you can exercise your freedoms? How is it that you can maneuver around what just seems to be madness all around, oppression, tyranny, basically the wolf operating in sheep's clothing, things being done for your own good that are actually meant to just take away your rights, your freedoms, whatever, and basically have become a hindrance in your life these last 2 years. Anyway, would you believe it if I actually told you that you have not lost your freedoms? Would you believe it if I told you that no one took your freedoms and that no one can ever take your freedoms? Well, it's true, and here's why. Every single human being is born the exact same. They have inherent and inalienable rights and freedoms, which means they have free will. We in the United States know this, and we're very attentive to this. And this, just by the way, this is for everybody in any country because this is how it works. For everyone, without exception. And here's why. Because since everyone's what is the exact same, their how differs, which is fine, but their guarantee that they can exercise their free will is there. Because here in the United States, it appears we have two primary political parties, Republicans and Democrats. But the truth is we have three. And because it's out of sight, it's out of mind for a lot of people. And it is called We the People. And the number one export of the United States, believe it or not, that other nations know intuitively is the spirit of freedom. That's what we export, the spirit of freedom. You can run your own best race. You can live your best life. You can make however much money you want. You can jump from one vocation to another. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter any other label like ethnicity, culture, country of origin, anything like that. Every person has an equal opportunity to do whatever they want to do to the best of their ability, live their best life. But the first thing is this. If you remember this and etch it in your head, you will do very well. And that is no one, and I mean no one without exception, can take your freedoms without, pay attention to this, getting your consent. This works for everybody. I don't care what country you're in. Your freedoms, your rights cannot be taken without first getting your consent. Now, the way it's done quite often with people, groups that don't understand this, and are actually, most people are unconsciously upholding tyranny, believe it or not, is they don't understand this one simple principle that that's how your rights are inherent and inalienable, which means they can't be separated from you. They are woven into the fiber of not only your material DNA, but your spiritual DNA or energetic DNA for those of you who want to use terms of science, energy and matter. The key piece, of course, is your consent, and all you have to do is to not give consent. So when the big bad wolf shows up on your doorstep and says, hey, I'm here and I'm going to take whatever I want from you. And what do there's nothing you can do about it. Or they want to actually use fraud against you, which is to use your own ignorance against you and say, well, you have to do this because we're a group saying you have to do this. That's not true. All you have to do is sit back, be the little piggy, as the children's story says, in the brick house, sit back and let the big bad wolf huff and puff and blow his own lungs out. Now, I know this because I'm ex-military. I'm actually medically retired military. So this is called irregular warfare, what's been going on. It's psychological. It's like the whole world has been invited to an open-air Holocaust and is being told basically to self-eradicate, because we told you so. We've decided that you're not necessary, that what you do, that you're just a silly little useless feeder It's as being told by these tiny, tiny little group of psychopaths and sociopaths who actually think they have power just because they're sitting there with a whole bunch of material items and money, but they don't have possession of themselves. They don't have possession of common sense. Because let me tell you, when you understand the laws that underpin this universe, and you understand that there is only one outcome for any tyrant or anyone who is oppressing anyone, you sit back and you'll watch and laugh. I mean, this is this is built into the way of this universe, which is sometimes called the Tao, meaning the way, in Taoism. So I wanted to just start out by releasing a simple video and saying, hey, if you have a question or if there's a topic that you want to hear covered, I'm going to be doing several in the days to come. One is the Moab of all Moabs. I'm going to be explaining more about, I'm not talking about United States law. I'm talking about human law and the way that natural law, which is the same as divine law, actually works. Energy and matter, okay? And I can language this in any science. I'm going to be talking about how you can become empowered, not because of what you do and not because of what you say per se, but because of what you know. Because believe me, the word know, K-N-O-W, when you know, you are in the now. N-O-W is the last three letters of no. And when you come back the other way, the effect of that is W-O-N. You won the game of life. You won the game against any tyrant that would come and snatch away your freedoms. But if you're not situated here, you're not going to be situated here. You're not going to be able to speak with any power here and uphold your own freedoms and put people who, most people right now are unconscious of this, on notice to say, hey, you know, you want me to do X, Y, Z. You're telling me I have to do this or not do that. That's not true. You know, you're going to uphold and you're going to very peacefully. This is called peaceful non-compliance. It is actually more powerful than any actual attack that's ever been used. It's totally unplugging yourself from the tyrant's game, right? You take your 3 T's, your time, your talent, your treasure. We'll be talking more about that in other videos. And you just leave the game. You say, I'm not playing because I'm too busy. I'm 100% all in on my freedom. And because I'm busy standing up for my freedom, I become a living example for other people who just want to live their lives free from tyranny and just, you know, make the best life they can. That's the American spirit of freedom. And so I'm going to start making these videos to help, you know, you think through some of this chaos that's happening, because there's all this chatter. Everybody's, you know, they're dancing around the maypole. They're talking about an event. So-and-so's doing this. So-and-so's the culprit, blah, blah, blah. You know, insert any name in there. But the real culprit is you just didn't ever have to think about where your freedoms were coming from, or, you know, where they were, how you properly exercise them in a very peaceful way. How when you're 100% all in on freedom, you have no time, you have no talent or treasure left over to be anti this or anti that. Those days are over. I don't move against anyone. I don't fight against anyone or call anyone enemy, because that would just leech away. It'd be a little time vampire or energy vampire. So you don't have to do that. All you have to do is get situated here in the place of knowing, okay, instead of being led by these eyes, which is, this is the level of belief. This is right here. This is where all the questions are. This is where the relative world is. This is where the absolute world is. And so we'll talk more about that later. But again, if you want to shoot me an email, you have any certain questions or topics or that you'd like covered, lessonsinfreedomnow@gmail.com, and I will do my best to answer them. And just stay tuned. I'm going to be putting out these quick 10 minute videos and helping you to better get your mind situated, so that, you know, it's like the old saying goes, you know, when you know better, you do better, because doing follows knowing. That's why the old saying too is, form always follows function. When I understand my own process and how things work, then everything that I do outwardly is going to back that up and follow that. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I'd love any feedback. Go ahead and click the subscribe button. Would love to hear any comments, and I will again be doing other videos. Thank you and have a good day.